the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, today we're going to talk about Legos. You know, those little plastic building blocks. And I have to tell you, I never gave much thought to Legos until recently. I found out that my 52-year-old son is a Lego builder and a fanatic at it. And I'm going, really, Scott? He's in the golf business. He's a golf pro, and he's building Legos. And I'm going,
he's about my age, too. I'm 48.
Legos. Well, we're going to find out about the intrigue of this little magical block, because someone who's made a career out of building some spectacular Lego things is Lego Scot, is what he goes by, but he's Scot Thompson. And Scott, let me say good morning to you on this Friday morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, we're doing fine. So let's start with the basics. What in the world got you involved in Legos?
Well, I was obviously a fan as a kid. I would get together with the neighborhood kids before going on the bus and building space stations and using the little transparent parts as currency and trade in for bigger tires on my space rovers. And, it starts playing, then you grow up for a while and you say, gosh, I think I like that stuff that I played with as a kid. And I looked at it the first time and said, gosh, I don't have as much as I thought I did. And I put it away. And then a couple of years later, they started making more adult themed sets. And lo and behold, it's like, this is great. And I had some disposable income and I started buying. And then I learned there was a community out there that likes to build and likes to display. And, we have fun together. And it grew from there. I've been part of Michigan Lego Users Group for 13, 14 years. I've been the president most of that time. And now the community has grown enough that there's people locally. And I'm excited to open a local chapter of Lego Fanatics here called Brick Addiction Mid-Michigan.
Let me ask a serious question. Have you figured out how to make a living at it yet?
No. I'm a registered nurse. There's a whole lot of expense. There's a whole lot of joy. And if you try to monetize that, joy is likely to retire.
Yeah.
A lot quicker than you are.
Yeah, I know. When looking around for kits for my son, some of the car kits are hundreds of dollars. I mean, it's pretty amazing some of the things you can get out there today for Legos. So you had a display at the museum, didn't you, in Bay City?
I have had a display at Midland Center for the Arts 2 years through Mishlug. I have had a display over at the Studio 23, and I've had a display for 5 years running at the Saginaw Castle Museum.
Castle Museum.
Yeah.
What kinds of things are you into building?
Largely architecture. So the stuff you see behind me is Lego. That's Cinderella's castle is all Lego.
That's a picture of it, right?
No, that is the Lego.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
It is. It's dimensional. I can see it now. I didn't think it was dimensional. It is now. Yeah. Wow. For those of you that are just listening on the radio and you're not watching the stream, this is a pretty huge Lego building.
Yeah. So this is actually flat.
Yeah.
It is a whole bunch of little pieces on a flat surface to make an artwork.
Right.
As is these Star Wars mosaics that I have behind me. I have
all of that is Lego. All of that is Lego. Is that what you're saying?
All of this is Lego. Me going by Lego Scot is not a farce. It's kind of a reality. This is one that my wife said, "Hey, do you think we could make this?" And she was a big Zelda fan, and I was like, all right, let's figure this out. And one day we sat down with our whole family for 7 hours straight, and we built this, together as a family. So
let me ask, because these look like artwork. I mean, look like framed artwork.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was aiming for. I build so many buildings that I can't display on a regular basis that I wanted something to be part of my life on a daily basis.
So does Lego make flat pieces, or did you have to figure out how to make them yourself?
So Lego actually has found out there's a adult community out there, and they've been making art sets that actually the Marilyn Monroe and the Beatles and a Darth Vader set and Harry Potter. I went and bought a bunch of those sets and used them as parts and made my own stuff out of them.
How do you mount them?
These have all the stuff that's behind me is all the same system. They have special mounting hardware that goes in built together on the back. It's all Lego.
And it all goes together.
It's all Lego. Everything there is Lego.
So how long does it take you if you decide you want to do a building, let's say any building at all? How long does it actually take you to actually finish the project?
So that really depends on the scope of the project. I've built, little buildings that will go and just 10 inches square, like the lighthouses that I have that'll be on display. And I went in, I've built 11-foot tall skyscrapers. So big difference in the answer. 4 months for that skyscraper after about 2 years of planning. Usually it's about 2 months of dedicated building for a skyscraper.
So do you have a pipeline to Lego to get the parts you need, or?
Teensy bit. Being part of a Lego fan club, Lego does recognize them and offer some benefits that you can get some parts from. So
have you traveled to Legoland or any of those attractions that feature Legos?
I have been to the Legoland in Florida.
And were you jealous?
No, I honestly thought my stuff was just as good.
Excellent. All right, hang on. I got to take a break, Scott. We'll be back. Scott Thompson, better known as Lego Scott. And we'll talk more about the group that he's president of, too, when we return here on the Art Lewis Show. All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and we're talking to Scott Thompson, who is a master Lego builder, to say the least. Let's talk for a minute about this group. Do you meet regularly? They have regular meetings?
So Mishlug has been around for over 20 years, and yes, we have regular meetings. The Brick Addiction Mid-Michigan is brand new. This is a very inaugural show, and we have had our first meeting of the people who I know locally to get this together and talk about what we want to do as a local community that love Lego.
Are there a lot of people involved in Lego now?
There are. So I started going to a fan convention that really got me going in the adult area of Lego, and there were 300 people back in 2009, and that the attendance is now like 1,200 to 1,500.
Wow.
So it is a lot in the years.
Is there a limit? I mean, and there was a TV show. They had a Lego competition, and I watched it only one time because it was always on opposite something else I wanted to watch. But it just seemed to me that things were getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it reminded me in a way. You wouldn't know this, Scott. You're too young. But it reminded me in a way when I was growing up as a kid. I had an erector set.
Oh my God, I had a erector set.
And did you? And I always wanted the next biggest one, and then the next biggest one, and then the next, and I built the parachute jumps and all of that stuff when I was a kid, but I wanted to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Is there that tendency in Legos?
When you're part of a group, yes. Especially when you're involved in a group and you go to things, you get to experience bigger and bigger.
Your audio is chopping a little bit here. We're getting a little audio breakup. All right, go ahead. Do it again.
All right. So definitely a possibility of that, depending on where your scope is. Being that I started as a adult fan with a convention, conventions offer everything from the smallest little creation that you're saying, wow, how could you possibly make that with 10 pieces, to incredible that you can drive a car into, or made out and make a car of, there are so many that can be done, and I have seen done, that I have done, in time. So
other than supplying the Legos, does Lego, the company itself, offer any instruction or help?
So they don't. We are definitely consumers in this. We are consumer art people. They don't get supply lines from Lego. We sometimes are able to purchase from Lego, very limitedly, but it does offer the ability to get more diverse pieces in quantity. But it's definitely a consumer-based art form.
So now that you have this new club formed, Brick Addiction, I love the name. What's ahead for you?
Well, it all depends on what's in our laps next. This lighthouse behind you was something that I was asked if I could go and build. I was shown a picture, and it was white. It's the Saginaw River front range, front or rear range. I built both of them. I don't.
Yeah.
One
of the two.
Yeah, it was one of the two. It's the one that still exists in the world today. And this opportunity just fell in my lap, and I ran with it after thinking about it for a long. We discussed other possibilities for show content. We might reach out to the Nature Center. My buddy has a bunch of birds that have built up. I built some trees, a bird bath. We might play that at the Nature Center if they're interested. We might go and reach out to City Hall. They have that Lego. A bunch of community resources that could be reached out and engage the community.
So the process, you were asked to build the lighthouse.
I was.
You go take pictures of it first? You go measure it? What do you do?
So he provided me some pictures.
Okay.
He did offer me the opportunity to go there, and at the time that he presented it, I wasn't how to proceed with it, and my life was very busy. I didn't have time to pursue it. He asked in May, and then January came around, and I had not stopped thinking about it, and I figured out a solution. And then I had a game plan, and when we built up a little prototype, next day I built this up.
So all of your Lego work, is it all, how can I say this? Is it all temporary or permanent? By that I mean, do you ever glue it together so it never comes apart, or is it always removable and you can start all over again?
So it's always removable. We can always take it apart.
Yeah.
Even if I back together backwards.
Doesn't matter. He took a piece off the top, folks, and now he has to put it back on again.
Yeah.
So, and are you still displaying at the Castle Museum?
No, I just there for 5 years running, and I shifted gears. So, is it possible that might be an outcome later on too? Yeah, I still have there from those 5 years running. And when I visited the museum last time, they're like, "Hey, look at You're back.
So is there any place we can see your work right now?
Out in the public, in the community, no. But this lighthouse and the stuff that'll be on display in the mall for the Family Fun Fest, starting the 18th, will actually remain on display in some format for a good while inside the historical museum. Inside.
And when is that, the Family Fun Fest?
The Family Fun Fest is Saturday, February 18th from 10 till...
And where?
At the Bay City Mall. The
Bay City Mall.
Yeah, Bay City. Whatever they call it. Village. I don't know. Bay City Mall.
Whatever it is.
Done food court, so they don't call it a mall anymore. Whatever.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, what's next on your building? Do you have a list of things you want to build?
Oh, yeah. I have, there's a big development downtown Detroit at the old Hudson building. I'm planning on building the new Hudson site.
Oh, wow.
Skyscraper. There's a building right downtown in Campus Martius that I have started on my mantle here. I don't know if I can get a good picture of it or not. The Ernest and Young building.
Okay.
It doesn't look like much, but it's 2 floors out of 10. I don't know how to.
And you literally build it 1 floor at a time. You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally build it 1 floor at a time, and if I can.
Oh yeah, I see. For those that are watching, it's a building that's and it's almost transparent, greenish, and pretty nice. It's amazing.
So it's got interior detail and lights, and it'll be a 10-story building that's probably within the month that I'll have done. Hopefully in a year or two, I'll have the Hudson site building done.
Wow. Well, good luck with it, Scott. I'm glad to chat with you, and we'll have to down the road see how well the Brick Addiction group is doing. If somebody wants information on that group, they're into Legos. Where do they find it?
It's currently available as a Facebook group. So if you know how to search Facebook and you type in Brick Addiction, you should come up with it.
Very good. Well, get back to work and have yourself a good day.
Yeah, I got to get to sleep so I can go to work tonight.
Oh, good, Scott. All right. Well, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks a lot.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Scott Thompson, better known as Lego Scott. And it's funny, my son's name is Scott, too. And he is into Legos. I mean, he's in his 50s, his young 50s. And my late wife said to him, what do you want for Christmas? And he said, oh, Legos. So that's we got him Legos. It was like buying for a little kid again, except I'll tell you what, these sets today, particularly the ones that are adult oriented, they are not for little kids. That's for sure. It was really interesting.